Finally, Safari Investments came to the market in 2014. Smaller one. The fellow that I mentioned earlier, his name is Francois Marais, a Pretoria-based person, I think, who's done the development for many years, and then it came to the market. 1.34 billion rands worth of market cap, and the historic yield appears to be around about 9.1%. Why did you pick this one up? Do you know this guy?
I've met them, but I think what's very interesting about this is it's a specialty township retailer.
What do you mean by township?
So all their malls are located in townships such as Mamelodi, Atteridgeville, and Sebokeng.
So that, like at Lynn, which is one of their properties, where's that? In Atteridgeville?
Atteridgeville, that's right. So
I should have picked that up.
That's a given. But those are more your higher end malls. I mean, there's a Woolies there, but the majority of these stores are your grocery lower end stores. So your Pep Home, Jet. And I think what's been quite interesting is Studio 88, which is an independent brand. Jam, I'm sure you've seen a couple of those stores.
Jam. No, I haven't. What do they sell?
Discount retailing, clothing retailing, that's right. So those stores, quite an interesting mix of stores, and they've been trading very, very well. There's a big demand for space.
And the malls themselves, so they're carefully positioned so that they're safe, secure, and they have good parking access, good perimeter security, and then the national retailers are just like, let's go, because they can see there's 50,000 people here that are potential customers, underserved, don't like having to trek across town to go shopping. Let's bring those opportunities to them.
That's exactly it. It's those customers that necessarily can't afford to spend that 50 or 100 rand extra to take a taxi into town. Very, very close to big transport nodes. So a lot of the malls have a taxi rank situated on the property. In terms of security, I think they've done quite well. So last year when there was a lot of protests in the Pretoria region, they weren't really that affected. I think they had one store that was affected. So they've done quite well to secure the perimeter.
Okay, well, exactly. This is the kind of operation you need people who know their way around. Share chart. Oh, we do have one. So it hasn't actually been, well, I suppose I said 2014. So you can see it's kind of moved along, moved around. But what's the game plan here? Presumably they just want to keep trucking, get bigger, build out, raise more money, use the listed vehicle to get the kind of attention they need to attract investors to move the whole thing forward.
Sure. So I think a reason their share price has been under pressure is that they've constantly had to raise capital. But I think ultimately what is going to happen is one of the larger funds will try and acquire this asset.
Certainly seems so, because that's what has happened in a lot of cases. You get someone starts hoovering up all the free float, and then the next thing you find they own 20 or 30%, and then the relationship starts to mature.
That's it. It's not a very liquid stock, so it's very, very tightly held.
Tightly held by the family?
By the family and also
associates.
a syndicate. You mentioned Mr. Marais, he was the architect, and then the developers that developed the buildings, they all came into the listing together.
Okay, we're running out of time, or we're out of time, so you're going to go hot on this one?
I am. I think it's going to continue to perform quite well.
And as you say, there could be some transaction opportunity.